Chapter 1, The Sweetest Invitation. When I was in high school, I had a small group of guy friends, the kind you could joke around with, hang out after class, and feel safe around. I was close to two of them in particular. They were the kind of friends who walked you to your car after dark, made sure you got home safe, the good ones. Then there was him, one of their friends, charming, funny, and always teasing me in that way that made it seem like he liked me. When he asked me to prom, I was thrilled. I wasn't popular, I wasn't flashy, just a sweet, naive girl who thought prom night was supposed to be magical. I remember picking out my dress, showing it to my mom, even texting him pictures of color options. He told me he'd rent a tux to match. I was glowing. For once, I felt like I was in one of those teen movies where everything ends in slow dancing and laughter. Chapter 2, The Disappearance. A week before prom, he stopped talking to me. No texts. No calls. No explanation. At first, I thought he was busy. Then I wondered if I said something wrong. I replayed every conversation in my head, every moment we'd shared. The silence was deafening. When I saw our mutual friends at school, they told me he had stuff to take care of. They said it so casually that I tried not to pry. I just smiled and said I understood. But I didn't. Not even close. Prom came and I went alone. I tried to have fun, and honestly, I did. My friends danced with me, we laughed, took pictures, and I told myself I didn't need a date to have a good time. But deep down, I couldn't shake the question, what did I do wrong? Chapter 3, The Truth Surfaces. About a month later, one of my close guy friends asked if we could talk. He looked serious, too serious. We met at a coffee shop, and the first thing he said was, "You need to know something about prom night." My stomach dropped. He told me that a few weeks before prom, he and the other guys had been hanging out, the same group I was friends with, including the guy who was supposed to be my date. They were drinking, laughing, just being typical teenage boys, until the conversation turned to me. One of them joked, "She's so excited. You better get your tux out." And that's when everything changed. My prom date laughed, then said something that made all of them freeze. He said, "I've got all the drugs I need. She won't remember a thing." Chapter 4, The Fallout. The moment those words left his mouth, the mood shifted completely. My two friends told me they went silent, then one of them stood up and punched him. The others joined in. They beat him until someone pulled them apart. They warned him to stay away from me, and from that night on, he did. That's why he disappeared. That's why he ghosted me. They never told me then because they didn't want to scare me, or make me feel like a victim. But hearing it later, I didn't know whether to cry, be furious, or thank them for what they did. Maybe all three. Chapter 5, Looking Back. Now, years later, I still think about that night. How close I came to trusting the wrong person. How lucky I was that my friends overheard and acted. Sometimes I feel guilty for what happened to him. But then I remind myself, he made a choice. And if they hadn't stopped him, I might have become a headline instead of just a story. Life has a strange way of revealing people's true selves. Sometimes, it's too late. But that night, I was protected, not because I knew better, but because the right people cared enough to step in when I couldn't see the danger myself. And that's something I'll never forget.